All right, hey folks. Um, my name is PJ. I'm a retired police officer, and something interesting happened today. That it's something I watched. It was on Facebook. Facebook has a lot of videos on why police are wrong in everything they do, which is okay because that's people's opinion. I'm not saying that some things we do are right or wrong, but I wanted to specifically address this that I saw, and it was about these drug test kits. I have two different kinds. I don't have, this is heroin. I have heroin, meth, crack cocaine. This is a marijuana test kit. So we will be using this to test a substance just to keep it on the up and up. I'm going to pour the substance in here and then we'll crack these ampules in here. It's just a different way to test it. So they were testing these with different substances in them. You open these up, you pull the top up, and you pour the substance in. They were using chocolate shavings, they were using oregano, they were using soap shavings as well. I don't have those things. I have dill weed and I have some basil. I'm probably not going to use the basil, but who knows, maybe I will. It's looking kind of good here. Anyways, that's what I have. So first I wanted to test each one of these kits with nothing in them and see what we got, because they were getting false positives on the ones that they checked. The video is only about 6 minutes long. I know I have it saved, so if I can load it up as well, I will, just to kind of show that contrast, because I've not tampered with any of these things. I'm going to do everything on video right here the first time. So I have heroin here. So I'm going to do them. You're going to break the ampules left to right. There's two. There's a spot for the third in the middle. These other ones do have three, all three. You have to break all three. You see the center one is already colored as it is. So we break this one first. You got to shake these for about 30 seconds. It's never taken me 30 seconds to get that color whenever I've tested heroin or any other narcotic. So you can see the clear liquid in there moving from side to side. So nothing, still clear. Heroin's got to turn green, so whatever substance you put in there has to turn green for it to be a positive, presumptive positive. And I break the third. And everything else mixes together. I've got nothing, still no color, it is clear. So yeah, okay, so not a false positive, not a positive, nothing. And that's heroin. So I'm going to put that over here next to my mouse pad. And I'm going to save the other heroin for when I introduce a substance. We're going to take the meth. So you look at the meth from the backside, it's got the center ampule. It's got an orange color liquid in that. Do I know what that is? I do not. However, it is a different color. So when I break this left to right, I'm just going to break this one first, and you introduce that first liquid. It's clear, right? There's nothing in there except that clear liquid. Shake it around a little bit. I think that's probably good enough. Now, like I said, break the center one next. It's got that off-colored orangey type of liquid in it, if you could see that. So you break that next. What do you think is going to happen? Yes, it's going to turn orange. Right? I mean, that's obvious because the thing was orange to begin with. Not super orange, but with this one, it's got to turn blue or purple. So with the meth, it's got to turn blue or purple. It's not any of those things. Now let's see what happens when I introduce this third liquid from the third ampule. It is turning a different color. It is turning a purplish pink color. But again, there's nothing in there. So we wouldn't go out there on scene and say, oh, you know, we're going to test nothing, and now you're going to jail. There's nothing to test. So it doesn't matter because the center ampule was already orange-ish. It turned purple when the third ampule was broken. So I wouldn't call that a positive, obviously, in any event because there is no substance in there. So this is the crack cocaine test kit. We're breaking left to right. So the first one we're going to break is this one. What color is that? It's pink. Okay. So we're going to break that one first. Anything's going to happen. Pink liquid is introduced into the kit, so it's going to turn pink, obviously, right? Oh, now it's going to happen. It turns blue. Shake it around a little bit. It's got that bluish pink tint, which is what you need. Blue, pink, or a blue, pink together. Break the third. Where are we going from here? It's still pinkish. Again, nothing's in it. Can't charge anybody with no substance. But kind of like, oh, really? Like that doesn't seem right. So, but now let's test the marijuana. We're gonna break one. Let's shake it around a little bit. Nothing. These, I believe, have to turn like a brownish color. Like I said, I don't have. I only have 2 of these, so. But if my memory serves me correct, it was like a. It might have actually been purple too. So, but different drug test, different company. It's gonna. This is. ODV, whatever that is. So, anyways, it's nothing. It's not. I mean, there's no color. There's nothing in here. So let's see. I really just want to see if they're going to change color at all. So heroin. Again, I have some random substances. They had random substances. I'm not looking for, to do the same exact thing that they did, because they pick things out of a hat almost. So we're putting this basil in here. We're gonna test basil. This green leafy substance. It's tough because when you see a video on the internet, you don't really get all the story, and you don't know what's edited and where and how, and not to say really any of you have to trust me, but I haven't edited this, and I'm not really a guru on the video recorder. So we have oregano in here, which obviously we wouldn't mistake for heroin, so we wouldn't even be testing this out in the field. But for the sake of argument, here we go. Break the left. Nothing. Really interested actually in the meth and the cocaine, because they already have those colored ampules in there. So let's see what happens with those. If it's going to change, or if it's going to, if it's going to be that pink and blue or that purple like it is with nothing in it. So, I mean, in the video, like I said, these scientists tested empty kits, and they said, oh, this is so alarming because it changes colors and you get a false positive with nothing in there. But why would we test air or nothing? It wouldn't happen. So this is nothing still. It's supposed to turn green, probably green because of the oregano, but I mean, it's just got that tint of dirtiness in there. So that, using any sort of discretion, would not be a positive for me. So I'm going to use some of this seasoning that I have, this complete seasoning. I'm going to open the kit. I've got my handy loading device, so I'm going to grab this and I'm going to add it in there. Got enough of it in there, I think, on the bottom. I'm going to close it up here. And again, with cocaine, it's got to turn blue, pink, or a bluish pinkish color. Left to right, pink first. It's pink, right? Yeah. It's pink because it was pink to begin with. Now, let's break the second. About 30 seconds. And now it's blue. Look at a tiny little blue tint. Tiny, tiny. We still got to break the third though. And it's losing that tint too. So that's going away. You see it blue up here because this had turned blue automatically, so you have that blue that's on the glass that's still broken in there. Would you call that a positive? Because I wouldn't. Just a random substance thrown in there, just like they did. I'm not a scientist, they are, so kind of weird. But I wouldn't have a substance that wasn't cocaine and put in here and test. I mean, it'd have to be a white powdery substance or something that looks like crack. They're putting random stuff in, I'm gonna, I can do the same. So here's something. We have our meth kit here. Just because I want to, I'm gonna use this dillweed just to keep everything different. Opening it up, get a different loading device that wasn't used on the other two. And we're going to put this dillweed in there, whatever dillweed is. I call my son dillweed. One more. Yep. Okay. Should be enough. I'm going to close this up. Left to right. Again, off-colored liquid in the second ampule and the center ampule. Left to right. First ampule is broken, mixing that liquid with the substance. And that like turned into powder. Break the second, obviously it's going to be that different color, right? What happened when it was empty? It turned purple. What's happening to it now? It's not turning purple because methamphetamine isn't inside of here. Amazing how that works. I'm doing this from my kitchen. Let's, just because we're having fun, do this second marijuana kit. I'm going to do more of this complete seasoning. I'm going to have to cook something after this because smelling these seasonings is making me hungry. Alright, so we're loading. It's going in there. I'll make sure you get enough. I have to vacuum the floor too. Is this going to turn a color? It didn't the first time with nothing in it. So let's see. A little harder to break. That liquid is mixing with the substance. Shake it up a little bit. Break that second ampule. Yeah, no. Nope. It just turned cloudy and gross looking. They did one other thing that I'm kind of interested in doing. They opened it up. I mean, with that empty, it's really kind of stupid. They shouldn't have even done that because, like I said, the different colors on these anyways. But just for, I don't know. They opened one up and they introduced air to it. And it's just kind of dumb, but let me do it just for argument's sake. Because like I said, they already have colors in here. They have that pink liquid. So let's get some air like they did. They were really fancy and they did this whole number. Ooh, they got a lot of air in there. And now we break left to right. Wow, pink. Go figure. It's already pink. And there's some blue. I mean, of course it's going to react. It's like with any anti-venom for like, or you think about anti-venom for a snake bite, they use the venom to create that. So I don't think you have to be a scientist to figure that out, that this is going to work the same way. Again, there's nothing in here but air. I wouldn't test air to charge somebody on a presumptive positive test for cocaine. So when you put the substances in there, and again, they used random stuff. They used, like I said, they used chocolate shavings. They used oregano. They used soap. I'm using just as random substances and introducing them into the same test kits that they were, and I'm not getting false positives. The false positive, like I had said, on an empty test kit is not alarming because there's nothing in there. So why would, come on, let's use common sense here. So I think, honestly, sitting in my kitchen, a retired police officer with a bullet in his spine, of 41 years old, has debunked what these fancy scientists are saying. And it's funny because they said in the video that the International Association of Chiefs of Police, which is a big governing organization for law enforcement, has endorsed this lab as being like one of the best and most honest labs in the country. And they're doing stuff like this, so I don't understand. And they're putting a video out to be shared with the general public over Facebook, who already think we're all suspect as police officers to begin with, which, like I said, you're entitled to your own opinion. But it doesn't really make sense. I mean, if they're working with law enforcement, why are you going to test an empty test kit and talk about how it's alarming that there's a positive? Really, is that really a positive? I wouldn't say that that's a positive based on my knowledge, training, experience. I just wouldn't. Again, outside of the fact that there's nothing in there. And then you have the other kits, which are just sitting here. That one just looks like crap. Not a green positive for heroin. This is the meth. Yeah, that's not a positive for meth. Any officer in their right mind wouldn't. Oh, sorry. And then I have the cocaine. Yeah, that's not a positive. We're not getting false positives from putting random substances in drug test kits. These drug test kits are as sound and accurate, I think, as they were ever before in the past when I used them when I was still working, and they are the same now. Nothing has changed. This is not a junk science.